Hey everybody, welcome to a Tuesday night webinar. This is the fourth of 4 parts of the series of 2019 symposium presentation. Tonight we'll be talking about how to fuel your body for healing. This includes what we drink, what we eat, how we sleep, things that we can do to fuel that natural ability the human body has to heal itself, which is so incredible and so amazing. How's everybody doing tonight? Presentation is going to be quite similar. I've got a presentation that I'm going to walk us through. Feel free to ask any questions. If I can't get to your question, I'll try to get to it at the end of the presentation. I've got a special product offer for you guys tonight, as well as flat $10 shipping for all purchases until midnight tonight. So that's been every Tuesday this whole month. It's been a flat rate, $10 shipping anywhere in Canada. Anybody have any questions before we get started? Hello, Rebecca. Welcome, and thanks for tuning in. It's a little later for you than it is for us, so thank you. Joe, Lewis, great to see you guys on the call tonight. It is like full-out winter here in Red Deer. We've got several inches of snow on the ground. Rebecca, the RP3 cacao is presently still on back order, but we are expecting that to arrive possibly this week. If not, it should be early next week. Rebecca, if you want, you can always pre-order. So just by calling us on the 1-800 number, which is 1-800-207-2239, you can prepay for a product and you'll get one of the first bags of RP3 cacao that come off the truck. All right, I'll just give it a couple more minutes here, probably like 1 more minute for everybody to get online, and then we're going to get started with the presentation. So far, 3 weeks ago, I did a presentation about summing up how the human body heals. That most of us spend our times in a state of degeneration where the body is fighting to survive. Few of us actually meet all the requirements every day for our body to maintain our health. And if we do, then we don't age. We maintain this homeostasis balance. But if there has to be a surplus of enzymes, a surplus of nutrition, a surplus of energy, if we want the body to go back to yesterday's problems and fix those. So remember how the body works with survival first, maintenance second, and healing third? That is a big reason why many of us don't get into healing, because we're in the survival mode, but we expect by taking a few supplements that we're going to be able to go into the full-out healing mode. And I've never, ever seen a human body work that way. Human body's first priority is to deal with today's problems. Second priority is to prevent tomorrow's problems. Third priority is to fix yesterday's problems. And in that order. And so that's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we are doing everything we can to survive today. And we're doing everything that we need to maintain our health today. And then we need to create a surplus so the body can go back to yesterday's problems, or the day before's problems, or 3 days ago problems. As long as you are in that surplus, you can control if it's 1 day's problems, 2 days problems, a week's problems. Maybe you're going back and healing problems from long ago. Whatever is the high priority for the body for healing. And we don't get to choose that. We don't get to tell the body or influence the body into what or how it has to heal. We have to empower that process and trust that it knows what it's doing. All right, let's get started here, guys. Wendell Berry. It really summarizes, I think, what a lot of our problems are. People, you and I, are being fed by a food industry which pays no attention to your health. And then we are treated by a health industry which pays no attention to your food. Almost like food and health are not related in any way. And a wake-up call to anybody that believes that, there is no closer or more demonstrable link than food and health. You eat junk food, you will have poor health. You eat healthy food, you will have better health. It is that simple. So when we're preparing for healing, remember how 95% of all disease is caused by toxins? And bacteria are creating large levels of these toxins coming from our undigested food, putrefying, rotting, and turning into indole, skatole, cadaverine, putrescine, histamine, tyramines in our intestinal system. And those are all absorbed into our bloodstream. And then the liver is unable to keep up with this incredibly overload of toxins that we're producing in our gut. And so many of these toxins bypass the liver. And by bypassing the liver, they are now going to cause disease, deterioration, degeneration. They're going to create body fat and hormone problems and malfunctioning of organs, tissues, and glands all over the body. We then talked about in the next presentation, empower healing, how enzymes directly affect healing. Enzymes are the catalysts that actually create healing. And the exhaustion of enzymes is directly related to causing degeneration or aging faster than you should be. And probiotics are a huge part of your immune system. Proteolytic probiotics can consume harmful pathogens, the same harmful pathogens that are causing the production of indole, skatole, putrescine, cadaverine, etc. And probiotics secrete enzymes to consume these pathogens. So that's kind of a refresher for us over the last 3 weeks on how we have to detoxify. It is so important. It's not fun. None of us say, hey, you want to do something a lot of fun this weekend? Let's all cleanse. But cleansing has been part of humanity as long back as we can track. The Egyptians, the Aztecs, the Mayans, these ancient civilizations, all of them have records of fasting as methods of detoxification or cleansing. And yet today, there's no reference, there's no importance played on that and how important fasting or cleansing or detoxification is. Even if you just look at the animal kingdom. In the animal kingdom, if an animal gets sick or isn't feeling well, the first thing it does is stop eating. Right? So instinctively, they know that hey, I'm not feeling 100%. I need to stop eating. I need to let my digestive system, I need to let my body deal with this. So when we're looking at foods that we eat, we can classify them into 3 different ways. And I'm using this fuel pump on the right as a representation of what most people's plates and daily intake look like. Majority of that fuel tank is pleasure food. The other ones are commercial foods, and only a very small amount of those are your superfoods. So pleasure foods are things like breads, pastas, pastries, flour products, milk, cheese, yogurt, any of your dairy products, potato chips, popcorn, pizza, soda. You get the draft. This is what I'm talking about. These are foods that are harmful when you put enormous stress on your body. They're harmful when you take too many of them, and your body has to work extra, super hard to break them down, and there's very little value or nutrition inside of them. Second is commercial and cooked foods. So this is like store-bought produce, meats, nuts, seeds, mass-produced without enzymes, without minerals, and void of majority of the original nutrition. They're covered in waxes, sprays, food dyes, and additives, hormones, and preservatives. So we like to call the food that we get from our supermarket, food, but the reality is a lot of these foods don't meet the requirements to be called food. And they're so different than the food you grow in your own gardens that maybe they should deserve a different word, like food-like products. And then you've got the green foods. So your garden fresh foods. This is real food, fresh off the tree, out of the ground, better than organic. These are the types of foods your body will heal with. When I see a person struggling with multiple different diseases and disorders in their body, and they go to 100% garden food, especially if they can go 100% raw, fresh garden food, that body heals like crazy at rates and in abilities that I have a hard time comprehending. So this fuel tank you see on the right-hand side of this image needs to be flipped. What is yellow really should be green. And so if you move the yellow foods into where the green spot is and the green foods into that yellow spot, you would have health. Because that small amount of pleasure foods that would be at the very bottom, that wouldn't be enough to undo all the healthy, super clean foods that would be on top. And you would still be able to progress and have living health. So let's just compare what I call like real food versus commercial food. Real food is grown in mineral-rich soils, making it rich in minerals. It has a superior vitamin content. It contains the powerful plant esters, it contains the natural enzymes, and undamaged and unbinded amino acids. See that farmer in the bottom left? That's what we want to believe farmers today look like. But look at the picture on the right. The reality is, with all the chemicals we spray on our crops, if you want to walk out in that crop, you often have to wear protective gear. Commercial food is mineral deficient. Often it's genetically modified. Almost all commercial food is depleted of all enzymes. Most commercial food is sprayed with pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. A lot of fruits and vegetables that need to maintain their fresh look as they travel around the world are covered in waxes. Many of them are dyed or colored to represent what we expect them to see. A lot of commercial foods are full of preservatives, and almost all of them are irradiated. So here's this farmer again. More like the reality. Isn't it silly that organic farmers have to label their food? Shouldn't we make the other guys use this? I like this little meme. I got it from eatlocalgrown.com. And it's true. So grandma and grandpas and these ethical farmers that were producing real food all of a sudden had to apply for special licenses, special certifications to be able to continue to stand out in the crowd of being better quality food. Shouldn't that just be food? And if you spray harmful chemicals on my food, there should be a warning label on it saying, hey, I sprayed pesticides and herbicides and fungicides that are known to have health disorders and negative health effects to it on this food. I think it's a little backwards. What about cooking our food? Say we got real food off of our own garden, but we come in and we cook 100% of it. Do you remember this from some of the previous webinars I've done? Famine and survival in America. Lysine may become unavailable due to conditions of relatively mild heat, which leads to destruction of lysine. And since lysine is the limiting amino acid of proteins, the vulnerability of lysine to heat leads to a serious concern in the nutritional quality of protein. Let that sink in for a second. What this is saying here is when you cook your food, you're destroying up to 42% of the quality of protein. 42%, that's not a small number. 42% of the quality of that food, one of the most important macronutrients, is damaged by 42% when we cook it. So if you're sitting down at the table tonight and 100% of your plate has been cooked, keep that in mind. You've just lost 42% of the quality of protein that's on that plate. See, if food is even a little low in lysine, according to John J. Miller, PhD, it can make the other 7 amino acids practically worthless. The other 7 amino acids are also very important and are essential. You have to have them, but a considerable decline in their availability would not lead to a complete protein development loss. On the other hand, a small deficiency of lysine would be disastrous. This is an important fact to understand, that we cannot get really good quality food and then cook the life out of it. Let me ask you this: how many animals on this planet naturally eat cooked food? How many wolves or deer or mice, mooses, gather all their leaves and all their vegetables or all their hunts, bring it home, make a fire, and cook the life out of it? Not a single animal in the world does that, except for humans. And if we do feed high levels of cooked food to dogs, they start getting cysts, tumors, arthritis, diabetes, cancers, a lot of the same disorders and diseases that we are fighting with today. So this is an amino acid profile. Amino acids are the building blocks for life and nutrition. Do you remember how the previous slide, mild heat practically makes the other 7 amino acids worthless? Watch this. Let's do that a couple times. These are all your amino acids that are available. If you cook your food, these are all the building blocks that are gone. How do you expect to build health, to restore your body and create wellness, if you removed half, just under half, of the most important building blocks your body needs to make every hormone, every tissue, every muscle, every gland in our bodies? This is a great time to introduce RP3. This is 100% raw, plant-based phytoprotein. You are getting 21 grams of complete, clean, unbinded, undamaged amino acids. You get all of these amino acids in there. Every single one of them is present. And because we didn't cook it, none of them are binded. So all these ones that are off are now available. Not only do we stop there, not only is this 100% raw, plant-based proteins, but you've got 100,000 HUTs of protease enzyme. Protease is a key enzyme that breaks down proteins into amino acids. That is going to make this product highly available to you, require very little digestive distress, and become almost like a supercharged bioavailability. But we didn't even stop there. We pushed it a little bit further by adding a billion units, or CFUs, coliforming units, of proteolytic probiotics, DDS1, which is the most powerful, most expensive, and the most proteolytic probiotic into each bag. And so these numbers are huge, and they're important. Where I just misspoke was per bag. That is inaccurate. You're getting 1 billion CFUs and 100,000 HUTs per serving. So those numbers times 30 is what we put into those bags. There is no other raw plant-based protein out there that will be this absorbable, this easy, and this nutritional in your system. In fact, every other plant-based protein I've seen uses heat. So already 42% of the quality of that protein product is gone. This would be a good time to give you guys an extra little offer here. Agreed? Let me just load it up for you. All right, here it is under offers. Same offer as we had last week. It was a big success. A lot of people really liked it. Offering it again. You can save $25 off your bag of RP3 or your enzymes or probiotics or any Avena labeled product until midnight tonight with any purchase of over $150. The coupon code is called FEED25. You can copy that down. You can put that into your shopping cart, or for many browsers, you can just click on that blue button that says copy coupon code, and it'll automatically take you right to Avena's website and provide you with that coupon code automatically being applied. I have 25 coupons available. But that was fitting, $25 off, 25 times. Just going to get back to my chat window here. Some of you guys met Al Wilson at one of the previous symposiums that we did. To quote him in one of the videos that we have, he says, "Wow, RP3 really made me feel good. I no longer power out on long competitions. The RP3 is by far the most amazing fuel source I've ever experienced." Al Wilson, also known as the People's Champion. Here's the guy that is in his mid-40s, and year after year for the last 10 years, he's held the #1 place in his sport, which is like this Texas Scramble dirt biking. And a lot of the kids he's fighting against or competing against are 21, 22 years old, like men in their prime. They're supposed to have the best strength, most amount of energy, and they heal faster than anybody else. How can this 42-year-old man continue to beat, by a long shot, all of these younger kids? Well, if you ask him, he'll tell you the Avena products give him a competitive edge that puts him way ahead of everybody else he's working with. Let's also talk about the eFusion. This is a credible, awesome power source. And it's a wonderful source to combine with that RP3. If you want to experience an improvement that you're going to notice and see in just a few days, start mixing the eFusion and the RP3 together. Because this is all about E, the vitamin E. We need to think beyond the skin, because vitamin E oil has always been used in skincare products. The same cells, the same tissues that make up your skin also make up your intestine and your intestinal and stomach linings. So if it is so healing on your face and your hands and your body, imagine that same healing ability internally on your esophagus, your stomach lining, your small and large intestine. So many of our small intestines have the villi so damaged, caused by inflammation and chemical abuse inside of there, that it's not healthy. We're not having healthy digestion. eFusion can help you heal damaged and inflamed tissues throughout your entire body. You know what? Your skin will love you for it as well, because that vitamin E content is going to be shared by every part of your body. There's something to say about synergy, which is the idea that the combination of two or more ingredients is greater than the sum of their parts. What we're saying here is 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4. We're saying 2 + 2 in the right condition is more like 8. See, vitamin E in its synergistic nutrient contains 4 tocotrienols and 4 tocopherols. That makes 8 powerful forms of vitamin E that together create a synergistic masterpiece of healing. This product also contains over 109 different antioxidants. A substance such as vitamin E that removes potentially damaging oxidizing agents in any living organism, including the human body. So if you were to go to the health food store and pick up a jar of vitamin E, and I challenge you to do this, how many forms of vitamin E do you think you will find in there? Do you think you would find all 8? 5? 3? 2? The answer is 1. Look at it. It'll be D-alpha tocopherol in any vitamin E product you find in the store shelves. Just 1. It's a good one, but it's solo, and nowhere, in no stretch of the imagination, can 1 be better than all 8. Especially if they're synergistic, and 2 together make 8. And imagine what all 8 does together. Is that something like 64 times the benefit of 1? We don't know the exact math, but we do see and can witness the synergistic effect where the combination of vitamin E's actually improve upon each other and make it greater than just the sum of its parts. You guys have met Kim Harlan. Kim Harlan was just in the office yesterday. Here is an incredible human being. He is an extreme expedition guide. He has this to say: I'm in my 60s, but feel like I'm in my 20s. I've never thought any of this could ever be possible. See, tocotrienols and tocopherols, this eFusion product that we have, used to be called tocotrienol complex. That was too hard for a lot of people, so they started calling it Toco. Well, Kim Hartland here, he would take these bottles of Toco in his suitcases when he traveled the world. And in all these remote areas, people started calling him like Toco Man. And here's a man that takes Toco, and they felt like they call it Toco as like a superpower, right? Like he's got this super drink that makes him super powerful. Because he's incredibly strong. He outperforms the Sherpas in the Himalayas. He outperforms every other raft guide that he extreme sports with. He uses 12 tablespoons of E-Fusion per day for recovery and intense trips, and I am so strong because of it. That's what he said. You guys want to hear something crazy, though? So Kim Hartland's in the office yesterday, and he brings in this big 70-pound duffel bag, like, you know, those huge hockey gear bags? He brings that in, and he's here to fill that to his maximum 75 kilograms. He is flying into India in the middle of a pandemic. And a lot of people think he'd be absolutely crazy to try this. Why in the world would you go to one of the most infected countries in the world in the middle of a pandemic as an outsider? And here he is. He's going. It took him almost 6 months to get all the paperwork to even be allowed into the country and to be able to travel like that. But he is so confident in his experience and in his products that with the right products, he doesn't have a problem at all. See, one time when he was in India, he ended up with dengue fever, which is a really nasty infection. And a lot of people even die from it over there if they can't get the proper help. He used the Avena product, and he says it made him strong almost instantly again. He felt like he didn't even have to go to the hospital. He was able to overcome that dengue fever naturally, just by boosting his body's immune system, just by making himself so strong. Yuki, that's awesome that you lived in the same house as Kim, so you know exactly, this amazing person I'm talking about. I've got the pleasure of spending days and weeks with him, creating videos with him, and rafting down the Bow River from Banff with him. So let's all hope for the best as Kim Hartland starts his journey to India. He promised to give me feedback and to send some photos and stuff of what's going on over there. But great humanitarian. I'm sure he's there to make an impact and to help so many people that are struggling. Here are some extra E-Fusion benefits. Helps the body restore health in the following areas. Diabetes. Almost every type 2 diabetic that I work with that starts on the E-Fusion notices a significant improvement in their blood sugar levels. And when I say significant, I mean a lot of these people are seeing like their blood sugar levels go in half without any other changes. It also helps with high blood pressure. Vitamin E is a natural blood thinner. Helps with irritable bowel syndrome, colitis, any of the inflammatory bowel diseases, IBS, colitis, Crohn's, ulcerations, herniations. And it also helps reduce inflammation in those areas. But because it is full of amino acids and that vitamin E, it is also great at tissue repair, which will help you recover from any kind of serious trauma or surgery. Remember Dr. Bernard Jensen when he had broken his back and told that he would be a paraplegic and he would never be able to walk again unless they put all these metal rods, like 13 or so metal rods into his back. Well, he started doing high levels of E-Fusion, like 15 to 20 tablespoons per day, every day. And in over 6 months, he's walking again without ever having any surgeries. All those connective tissues that were severed across his back were repaired naturally within himself using his own healing ability. E-Fusion is also full of healthy, good cholesterols that can help bring down the negative cholesterol in your body. One of my friends, Len Layton from Black Falls, had this to say. I found the E-Fusion really helped me control my blood sugar levels without the use of medication. So when we talk about digestion and enzymes, right? Remember all this? We went over this just last week. All food must be a liquid to absorb nutrients. And so when the food comes in here, it needs to be liquefied. See all those little ribs? That doesn't work very well if the food is semi-solid or in chunks. If it's a liquid, it fills all those ridges. And inside those ridges, if we want to look at that little black square, looks like this. Each ridge is full, covered in what we call villi. The villi runs through that liquid and collects all the phytonutrients, the amino acids, the vitamins, the minerals, the carbohydrates, the sugars, everything the body needs. This is where enzymes really play a role. Because a lot of the food today that is void of enzymes will not liquefy properly. Now, if your food can't liquefy properly, this whole process that you're looking right here in this design isn't going to work properly. Remember that digesting oatmeal? I don't have any to do tonight, but if you guys look at the enzyme webinar that is on the website under live, under exciting events, live webinars, you'll find one all about enzymes. And I do it where I have enzymes right in front of the camera here. And we put enzymes into cooked oatmeal. And you watch this sticky, gluey substance of oatmeal turn into a complete liquid at all. This is something you can do at home. Open the capsule, pour the powder from the capsule into the oatmeal, and then mix that capsule into that oatmeal. And what's going to happen is that oatmeal is going to start liquefying right in front of your eyes. And usually that is just such a powerful visualization that it'll stick with you. See, enzymes are the key to unlocking the potential of the human's powerful natural healing ability. And what we're witnessing today is enzymes achieve is truly remarkable. I'm very excited for the future of validation of enzyme therapies. See, in North America, enzyme therapy does not get a lot of attention. But outside of North America, enzyme therapies are far more popular than what we often think. In fact, a lot of European countries are giving enzyme through an IV. Slurred my words there. A lot of European countries use enzyme therapy as part of their healing process through an IV peg right into your bloodstream. A quote from the book Enzymes, the Fountain of Life states that North America is 50 years behind the first world countries in recognizing and utilizing enzymes to their full potential. So remember here, liquefied. Probiotics also play a powerful role in this digestion. If you want to experience improved digestion, if you want to fuel your body for better digestion, better absorption, and better healing, you're going to need a proteolytic probiotic. I'm not saying that to stop taking your other probiotics, but your other probiotics cannot do what a proteolytic probiotic can. If you were to take 2 capsules of each meal, these are some of the things you would see. Increased metabolism, in preventing putrefaction of your proteins. You would stop loose stools and diarrhea. You would increase your weight loss successes. You'd also increase your immunity. If you take 2 capsules of probiotics, these proteolytic probiotics, with every meal for 2 weeks, notice the difference in the smell of your stool. When you go to the bathroom, the smell will be very different, I promise you. In fact, a lot of people say that there's hardly a smell at all after you're using probiotics, and that's important because the putrefying of protein turns into indole and skatol, and those are the odors that are so prevalent in our stool that make that bathroom smell the way it does after we eliminate. Here's a cool recipe. If we want to talk about therapeutic food recipes, if you want to grow proteolytic probiotics in your kitchen for free, I've got a video to watch. Video that's not turning on. Don't you love it when that happens? Let me see if I can find it here for you guys. There we go. If anybody wants to watch that video again, it is available on our YouTube. I will post the link here for you if you like. Copy link address. There we go. Should be at the top of the screen. It's a great recipe. So what you're doing here is you're taking a proteolytic probiotic, you're growing it in coconut and almonds, and 2 tablespoons turn into 4, 4 into 8, 8 into 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512 teaspoons of probiotics. And this is constantly happening. So imagine the powerful levels of probiotic that you can get without having to pay for it, with just by doing a little bit of work in your kitchen. See, fermented foods have been part of every culture, whether that's miso or kombucha or sauerkraut or yogurts, depending on which region or where you were at. But almost everybody has a version of fermented foods. Let's just jump back to my presentation here. So a lot of questions about fasting. I touched on fasting earlier. See, fasting has always been recognized as a way of detoxifying. The earliest records show ancient civilizations fasted to cleanse and restore their health. I also talked about the animal kingdom and how it's a natural instinct for an animal to stop eating. And yet when we feel gross, right, we've been indoctrinated and trained to drink ginger ale and eat chicken noodle soup, right? Like processed MSG filled soups as an idea that that's going to help you heal better. Obviously, I'm not on that wavelength, that board. So types of fasting. You could do a water fast where you consume nothing but water for an extended period of time. 3 to 7 days typically. 3 days would be like a starter range of fasting. 7 days would be a little bit more advanced. This is the hardest type of fasting to do, and it's obviously not recommended for a beginner, especially if you're on a North American diet. So how to do it? Well, consume fresh, clean water only. Fast and resist eating until the hunger pains stop. Continue until intense hunger pains return. Then slowly start introducing foods. Start with vegetable juices for 12 hours. Incorporate then smoothies with fibers and solids in it for the next 12 hours. Then transition into like soups, vegan yogurts can come in next. Introduce one solid meal at a time and listen to your body with the speeds and types of foods to incorporate. At that point, you could probably return to a healthy lifestyle. But then you've got juice fasting, juiced vegetables and fruits. This is a more of an intermediate fast. So you can do a juice fast, limiting your juice intake to a set level to meet nutritional requirements. Example, consuming only 500 milliliters of fresh cold juice for each meal. Or my personal favorite, which I prefer, especially for new people, is a juice feast. Consume as much fresh, cold pressed juice as you want, but only juices, no solid foods, no smoothies, just juice. So juice and smoothies are different. A smoothie has all the food and all the fiber and the pulp and everything in it, as where the juice separates all the pulp, all the fiber, all the everything, and you just have the concentration of micronutrients from that plant in there. And so if you're hungry, have another green juice. If you're hungry again, have more green juice. If you're satisfied, don't have juice. But it allows you to have juice when you want, how you want, and it's still very cleansing, and it does an amazing job at resetting your entire digestive tract. The other type of fasting that is really popular now more than it has been before is what they call intermittent fasting. It's about controlling eating times and fasting times around a 24-hour cycle. So the average person spends 12 hours of the day eating and 12 hours of the day fasting. What does that look like? We have breakfast at 7 a.m. We have dinner at 5 o'clock. We have a snack at 7 o'clock at night. And so from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., we were eating, snacking, consuming foods. Hopefully, anyways, because the reality from the people that I've lived with or shared rooms or traveled with, it's they eat from 7 a.m. until midnight or later sometimes. Sometimes they're getting up in the middle of the night to have a snack. What they're doing then is they're pushing that body more into consuming and less into cleansing. See, the body cleanses when it's fasting and it consumes when it's eating. So if you wanted to like experience intermittent fasting from a beginner standpoint, you would simply shift that by 4 hours. So you'd push breakfast back 4 hours. So now you're spending 16 hours of the day in a fasted state and 8 hours of the day eating. And if you're already doing that and you want to try something more advanced, try 18 hours of the day fasting and only 6 hours of eating. So just to clarify, this doesn't mean that you're dieting or eating less calories. What it means is you're condensing the times in which you eat into a shorter period of window, or a shorter window. And so you're spending more time in that fasting state. So 3/4 of your day is spent cleansing, and only 1/4 of your day is spent in that consuming mode. The lemon ginger blast is my personal favorite recommendation of a green juice. It is alkalizing, it's highly detoxifying, it's naturally antiparasitic, antibacterial, antifungal, and it's nutrient rich, and it tastes amazing. It's one of my absolute favorite green drinks. And I've got a video of this as well, how to make it. And because the other one didn't work, I'm just going to assume it won't, this one won't either. Ginger. Quick and easy. You simply take all those ingredients, run it through your juicer. You'll notice on the table there, that was my juicer. It's the Green Star Elite. It does an amazing job. Out of all the juicers I've owned, which has been plenty, that is by far, hands down, the best juicer you can buy. As a consumer anyways, unless you want to spend $20,000 on like a commercial juicer, the Green Star Elite is amazing. Twin gears, we do sell it in Avena. You'll find it on our website. They are expensive, but it is literally the last juicer you'll ever buy. The juicers are so well made that I can push that thing as hard as I want, as many times as I want, and it never has a problem. It's amazing in that way. Something else that's important for healing, though, is sleep. Often overlooked and underrated. Your body requires sleep to regenerate. As we age, I think this becomes more and more prevalent and more obvious. As if I try to stay up late like I did as a teenager or a young adult, I feel it the next day. Not just being tired, but physically. My digestion is affected, my mind is affected, my strength is affected. See, an adult usually requires 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep per day. And if you're feeling sick or trying to recover from something, you need more. This is just like a little example on how your body uses different times of the day to heal. Your gallbladder typically is healing from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. So if you want to support that gallbladder, in bed, asleep before 11. Your liver works from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. And the liver is such an important product that if you're staying up till after 1 a.m., you're really putting an enormous amount of pressure on that poor liver. Your metabolism, blood vessels, hydration, typically is trying to heal from 9 to 11 p.m. This is another reason why we shouldn't eat after 9 p.m. because that system's trying to recover from the stress that you put it through the day, not trying to digest a new meal at 9 p.m. at night. Are you having trouble sleeping? Do you wake up constantly? Do you have sore muscles? Consider the magnesium. Magnesium increases the neurotransmitter GABA in the brain, which is responsible for slowing your thinking down and helping you fall asleep. It also helps relax muscles and tissues and organs in your body. The number one benefit that's reported with liquid ionic magnesiums like this one is that it helps me sleep, especially if you're having things like restless leg syndrome, where you wake up and your legs are twitching or shaking and cramping, or you wake up with like an intense Charlie horse. These are all signs of magnesium deficiencies. Ionic blends are superior because they're not binding to any mineral. They require no digestion, and they can be delivered and absorbed through the cellular networks of your tissues. What that means is it goes straight into your cells, doesn't have to travel through your bloodstream, and doesn't have to be absorbed by your digestive system or by your intestinal system. Other benefits are things like headaches, muscle pain, anxiety, depression. Luba, on the order, you need to choose a shipping method. So there'll be different shipping methods available. $12.49 will likely be, FedEx or Canada Post. There'll be a different feature that says Tuesday promo, flat rate $10. And that should be available anywhere in Canada. Unfortunately, if you're outside of Canada, that $10 flat rate can't qualify. Daria, yes, if you want to experience the benefits of sleep, take it right before you go to bed at night. But if you're experiencing things like headaches during the day, hypertension, muscle twitches, any of that, and you should experience, and the magnesium will typically and most likely really help you at that point. Some people like to take it when they get up in the morning. And I know athletes and people that take it right before their workouts and really enjoy that as well. And you can take 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons. If you're feeling like you're quite deficient in magnesium, try taking 2 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons twice per day. Luba, I'm just going to check here quickly to see if there's a problem there. I do see a problem here, Luba. I'm just going to try to fix that for you. Sorry, guys, bear with me for 1 second. There we go. Try it again, Luba. Refresh the screen on the shipping options. You should see it. It does for me. Let's just do this all together, just in case anybody else is having problems with it. Here's my screen. You'll notice it right here. Tuesday promo, $10 flat rate. Charges $10 for all the shipping options. Sorry for the delay there, guys. Just want to make sure that was working for everybody. Pin magnesium is even tighter. It has 3 times the amount of magnesium per milliliter of liquid. Magnesium is used for over 300 biochemical reactions in the human body, and it's the #1 mineral that nobody's really talking about. And what I believe is the big reason there is because we can't accurately scientifically measure magnesium levels in cells. Luba, if you want to call the office tomorrow or email in, they'll refund you the additional charges that you were charged for that shipping, okay? And Yuki, you can take the magnesium and probiotic together. There's no complication that we're aware of between the 2 of them. So they could be taken at the same time. Something else that's important is that Avena's products are electrically formulated. Imagine a puzzle piece. Not just a puzzle piece, I should say. Imagine doing a puzzle. Let's say a 1,000-piece puzzle. And you got this huge bag of pieces, but there was no image. There was no example of what you were trying to create. You know how Puzzle Box always comes with the finished product on the cover, so you can kind of see and imagine and visualize what you're doing? Imagine that with the human body. The human body is expecting like an instruction, like a code, a matrix, as they call it, of nutrients. But if you just put a whole bunch of nutrients in a bottle and give it to your body, the body's got to try to figure out what in the world you're giving it and then try to get the most use out of it. Electrical formulations put the pieces together in the right shape first before we deliver to your body. It's almost like giving your body a completed puzzle. There's no extra work, there's no guesswork, there's no mystery. It recognizes vitamin C, it recognizes enzymes, it recognizes the herb cocktail for what it really is. And that's what electrical formulation is all about. There's this book that you guys can request. It's free with an order, or there's a small charge for it if you're just ordering it on its own. we adhere to the synergistic electrical compatibilities principles, meaning the electrical construct or the matrix of each individual component is combined only with other electrical constructs is compatible. Throughout our advanced formulation process, we follow every necessary step to ensure that the final product is in fact electrically compatible to the human body, taking absorption rates to the absolute highest levels possible. See, we are electric, not as like electricity. We don't have to be run, but we all focus around the electron. Just like everything in the body is made up of electric, the smallest particles to the largest galactic formulations. Everything in the human body, from the structure of atoms to the functioning of our brain, runs on positive and negative energies that attract and repel each other. And that's right down to the single cells and the atoms that make up our system. And so it would make sense that our products and our food and our nutrition has to meet this. And this isn't something absolutely crazy that we're doing that people are shocked by, because this is what nature does. And what we're doing is we are honoring that, understanding it, and maintaining it into a supplement. It's not about rebuilding electrical compatible products. It is more about maintaining the electrical matrix of the food into the supplement and making sure that we're only combining foods that are electrically compatible with other foods. Because sometimes what happens is you can take a bottle and you can throw 5 things that are great for your liver in there, but if they're not compatible with each other, they could actually make something that is putting burden and stress on the liver instead of helping it. Avena also has a huge commitment to quality. See, this company was built on integrity, honesty, and trust. We will never use things like binders, extenders, excipients, preservatives, heavy metals, microbes, or fungi. We test for chemicals, solvents, artificial sweeteners, sugars, coloring, flavoring, gluten, soy, lactose, genetically modified foods, and MSG, which is also known as monosodium glutamate. Our manufacturing facilities are GMP certified, which stands for Good Manufacturing Practices and Producing Quality Products. But not only that, our manufacturing facility is TGA certified, which is the highest rating in the entire world, surpasses ISO 9000s, surpasses the GMP, and is now the highest standard in the entire world, is TGA, which stands for Therapeutic Goods Administration. So that you can be comfortable and confident when you're buying products from Avena. And a question I often get that I think is important of touching on is, are Avena's products called organic, or are they organic? Well, let's look at this little list here. Organic foods apply to these requirements. You can't use genetically modified organisms or ingredients. You cannot use pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. You're not allowed to use any growth hormones or antibiotics. As we're Avena, we go way beyond that. We don't do GMO, pesticides, animal products, no growth hormones, no antibiotics. We also don't do no extenders, no excipients, preservatives, heavy metals, microbes, fungi, chemicals, solvents, artificial sweeteners, coloring, soy, and MSG. So as you can see, we are testing for and certifying way beyond what organic standards do. So is Avena organic? I would say it's better than organic. It is tested for more things by third-party labs than any organic food is. And then if I call it organic, the problem is I can't use better than organic food. I have to only use organic food, which almost hinders me and handcuffs me to not use a quality or higher, superior ingredient if it's not organic. See, what worries me is organic certification is around the farm practice and never on the actual crop. And the crops often do and can become contaminated, and they can still be sold as organic. Pesticides and herbicides can be traced and found in organic foods that came through the water tables and through the soil, or sprayed and traveled through the airs. Right? If you've got an organic crop right next door to a non-organic crop, and he's spraying the plane, dusting his entire crop with pesticides, what do you think the chances are that some of that drifts and blends over into your crop? Really high. I would like to see this. All farmers should have to submit a sample of each year's harvest for testing, and they can only label it organic if it passes all the tests. That does not happen. What happens is the Organic Certification Board comes and looks at your policies and procedures and then grants you an organic license. It's not even ensuring or policing that you follow these policies and procedures. So guys, that was a lot of information. Hopefully you got some. And just noticing here we're running over time a little bit, so I apologize. That shipping code, I think, slowed me down a little bit. This was fueling healing. We talked about probiotic fermented foods. We talked about juicing, fasting, the RP3, the E-fusion, the enzymes, the probiotics, and how we can use those and the magnesium to empower and to fuel the incredible machine that you're living in. This machine is self-healing if you take care of it properly. The question, does Herbal Balance help post-menopausal women to balance hormones? Absolutely it does. That's one of the biggest markets. I guess the majority of people buying Herbal Balance are post-menopausal women that find that it makes a huge difference in their hormone levels and balancing and normalizing all of that out. All right, guys, so let's do questions and answers pretty quickly here. If you guys have to go, thank you for being part of the conversation tonight. Thank you for tuning into the live event. Make sure you take advantage of both $10 flat rate shipping anywhere in Canada tonight only, as well as the $25 off coupon for any purchase over $150. Coupon code is FEED20. You'll find it just by clicking on the offers tab. You can go ahead and click on that blue button, and majority of browsers will automatically apply the coupon for you. Valerie says she takes her super digestive enzymes first thing in the AM, and then the herb cocktail and orange juice 1 hour after that, and then has breakfast 1 hour after that. That's a great time. There's nothing wrong with that at all, Valerie. Keep doing that. Gene, the Avena, that coupon works on all Avena labeled product tonight. So any product with the Avena label on it, you can use and get $25 off. Sorry, feed 25, Gene. Feed, you are right. Thank you for correcting me. The coupon code is FEED25. Yes, Rebecca, I can put a note on your order to include the nature's electrical construct to your order. Absolutely. Anybody else have any questions? I just want to let you guys know, each and every one of you that are on the live call, those that are listening afterwards on the replays or on the website, I appreciate you. And thank you for being part of this. Thank you for sharing this information with your friends, with your family members. And as like an extra little thank you, I'm going to let you in on a little secret that hasn't been announced yet, but our big Christmas sales are starting on Black Friday in November. So I think that's the third week of November. Black Friday is going to be the kickoff with some really amazing deals. There's going to be free shipping, huge discounts, free products, stuff like that, all on Black Friday, all the way to Cyber Monday. And then the sales will continue to run with less kind of oomph until Christmas, right up until Christmas Day. So you guys can plan for that, share that information. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. A lot of us in the office are already working on it. And for November, the sales or promotions for November is any order over $250 is getting a $25 coupon to be used along with the sale in December. So people can use that coupon code to take additional $25 off, already getting 20% off their order. So that combination can be really saving for you. Yes, Yuki. So my gold medal Olympian, Dorian von Rosenberg, I can't even pronounce his last name, from the Netherlands, vouches for Avena. And he's got the country's best nutritionist behind him. And in his video, he's quoted of saying, listen, guys, if you can produce even anything as close to what Avena's making, I'll consider it. In other words, the best people in his country can't even come up with a product that is anywhere as close to Avena for him. I do the coconut almond culture all the time. Absolutely, it ferments. I find up here in a colder climate, I need 8 to 12 hours for it to ferment, not the 3 to 4 that southern climates do. But it's amazing. It is such a powerful, cool thing to do. I got really excited when I first heard about it. I'm like, I can make probiotics in my kitchen. Yes, I was spending a small fortune on probiotics. So to be able to do it. Yes, Rebecca, I'm aware that Black Friday is a US Thanksgiving event. It's that fourth Thursday, okay, so the fourth week in November, and that's the kickoff. Black Friday started as just a US thing, but it is now almost worldwide. Same with Cyber Monday. All right, guys, any other questions or feedback? It was a pleasure to be here with you guys tonight. Hopefully the weather is great wherever you are. I think we're having a couple nice days coming forward, so I'm looking forward to that. Kimberly's asking about dog health. Well, so I have 2 dogs, and one of them is at the end of his expected lifespan, which is 15 years, and he's doing amazing well. The vet says he's one of the healthiest 15-year-old Bichons they've ever seen, especially small breeds like that. And what we did was we fed him raw food for almost all of his life. And we added enzymes and probiotics into most of his meals. And he's been incredibly healthy. You know what? He's never been to the vet. Outside of being neutered, he's never needed a vet visit for anything. And that's incredible, I think. I've got a puppy. It's only 16 months old, a Barbet. And we're trying to do raw food with him as well. I can't quite afford to do 100% of his food raw because that's a lot. He's a much bigger dog than a little Bichon that eats a small amount of food every day. But I think my recommendation would be to make sure they're eliminating constantly. I mix up greens, chlorophyll-rich greens into their foods. I put enzymes and probiotics in there. I throw little bits of magnesium on top of their foods. And I always mix like some raw vegetables into their meals every day. So the more raw living food you can do, the better. Obviously, they are canines, so they consume like a canine diet, carnivore list type diet. So enzymes and probiotics are really important to make sure that that high level of protein isn't putrefying. Jean, the 20% starts on Black Friday, which Rebecca said is the 4th Thursday in November. How much supplements are recommended for a 15-pound dog? I would do like 1 to 2 capsules of enzymes and 1 capsule of probiotic, 1 or 2 times a day, depending on the level that you want to introduce. So David, if you want to look at the recipe on the website, just go ahead and click on the search bar and type in coconut almond or coconut even. That'll get you to the right place. If you want to watch the video, I'll just post it again. There's the link to the YouTube video. Yuki's reminding people, no onions for dogs, no chocolate for dogs. If you're going to introduce some foods into your dog's lifespan, obviously do a little bit of research. Maybe Google it a little bit and make sure that you're using the right types of foods. All right, we're about 11 minutes over. So respect for your guys' time and our evenings. Let's bring this to a close. Thank you guys. Make sure you take advantage of that $25 off coupon. It's valid until midnight tonight on orders over $150. When you're choosing your shipping options, make sure you look for that Tuesday promo, $10 flat rate shipping anywhere in Canada. And you can combine those two. So you can get $10 shipping plus $25 off your order, as long as you do that before midnight tonight. Everybody be safe. Everybody stay blessed. Appreciate you. Thank you for being part of this. It's your participation that really makes these worthwhile and possible to continue to do every week. Tune in next week as we'll be starting a new series. And we'll be talking about new topics and maybe even restarting something that haven't done for quite a while. Maybe a topic or a presentation. All right. Wonderful. I'm going to say I appreciate you guys again, but I know I've said that several times. I just honestly feel like I appreciate each and every one of you guys being on the call. Have a wonderful evening. It's great to see all of you. Have a good night.